Shall we dance? Good lead, Raven. The stone hadn't lied about what it could do for him. With each raven he cut down, he felt a jolt of power flowing into his arm. "You're weak," whispered the stone. "The call will kill you." "Are you afraid of it?"
"No, don't be ridiculous." It chuckled. "The weapon, it's unstable. If a poisonous might just carry it, and if you try to use it, it would explode catastrophically."
Renato did not trust the rocks that talked in his head. He went onward. Help it, you! As he approached the core, the stone became hysterical.
No, it's too much power.
He had defeated the demonic gem with the power of his mind. He felt invincible. It was time to attack the Imperial outpost on the Nexus. Take the battle to the enemy. But among the huge crystals, there was also an observatory. A wise man would probably ask the scientists exactly what he had first. How wise was he? As the Farfarer made its way toward the... See? He'd trusted his gut, and it had worked out. That's what it meant to be a hero. To ignore the naysayers and the oddmakers, and do what you knew was right, and have it turn out to be the right thing. Well, he wasn't worried. Once he got to the observatory, the scientist toads could explain it. Then he could carry the war into the enemy's camp and destroy them all. He was getting a little bloodthirsty, wasn't he? There was an inscription on the platform. Balaleka lessons, with an address. Renato had never felt better in his life. Normally, a battle would wear him down and he would need a night's sleep. Now he felt like he could go all night and all day. He felt like people were cheering him on, and he could practically hear their applause as he slew one raven after another. The Imperial fleet was closing in on the rebels, forcing them to come out and fight. Renato was itching to bring the fight to the enemy. He had to remind himself not to be too reckless. Energy spheres. Easy to dodge, but boy did they sting if you didn't pay attention. afraid Renato knew more than he ever had. But about what? The toads at the observatory measured the stone with their occult devices. I fed it the core of Sky Ripper, explained Renato. No more feed planet souls.
But the core is not an unlimited energy source,
said one toad. Another said,
There's a feedback loop, you see, which could overload the stone. Yeah, the stone doesn't actually feed on souls,
claimed a third.
but on pain of killing another sentient being. If you can truly be at peace with yourself, it would not overload.
This was all very confusing. At peace? Yes, the mountains were peaceful and quiet, but he now had the power to turn the tides. He should report to the Rebellion Council and prepare for the decisive battle. Renato couldn't make sense of anything the toads said, and listening to them argue made him restless. The Iblis Stone had made him a power in... He was ready for anything the ravens could throw at him. His sword felt ready too. It seemed to know what he wanted most. That would come in handy in a pinch. Zenobia, Hypatia, the kid's mother. Renato had never thought he'd date a librarian. He'd always figured himself for the barmaid type. But then, he'd never figured the library of Ubar would have comic books, or that Hypatia would know anything about them. He missed her. Iblis Stone wasn't pestering him anymore. Good. He didn't want to chit-chat, not with anybody. He didn't want to think about Zenobia or Lapino. He just wanted to fight. This was almost fun. Pain of killing another sentient being? What was that toad talking about anyway? He felt no pain, only pleasure as each filthy raven fell by his sword and the stone glowed brighter and brighter. And all the while, those voices were cheering him on, like he was in the arena, winning bout after bout. Yeah. Well,
The eyes have had it. Long stairs. So he was close to the rebel base. Nothing was on fire. So far, so good. This wall's only let you through if they knew you were cool. What's there? He slew and slew across the ruins and into the labyrinth that hid the secret rebel base. He was surprised not to see any defenders or even any of the council toads. When he reached the council chambers, there were still no toads, only filthy ravens. "Stop him! He's gone mad!" one raven shouted until he had hacked them all down. There was not a single toad anywhere. No doubt they'd all been taken prisoner. So it was up to him to take revenge upon the Imperial fleet. But where had they taken the council? It couldn't be good that the Empire had not only found the secret rebel base, but killed or captured everyone there. No matter. He was on a roll. He headed full speed towards the Imperial fleet. He would be the fox who took down 100 warships. He charged. The Imperial fleet was huge and deadly, but he was deadlier. The crowd was cheering him on. He could practically hear it. "Reynardo, the hero of the rebellion!" Fresh socks, thought Reynardo. Please be fresh socks. Reynardo wondered if it wasn't cheaper to build bridges and stairs.
slew his way across the fleet. Renato thought he'd hear a small voice whispering in his ear. "Look at your gauntlet, you idiot," he said. "Oh, for heaven's sake," he thought. "Can't I be alone in my own head? Look at the stone." "I'm busy," he told the voice. "Talk later." "Then it will be too late," cried the voice. "Don't be so bloody thick." "Piss off," he told the voice and kept up his slaying. Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Funny that this whole war had come about because the Emperor feared death. Now it was coming for him. There was some sort of lesson there, wasn't there? There was the Emperor. Renato cut down his elite guard. The exalted Toad cowered fearfully. He had sought to evade death and only made death come to him faster. Renato savored the moment. And then, too quick, it was over. He stood over the dead Emperor.
Death to tyranny! He shouted. Go, House, go!
Zenobia stepped out of the shadows. "You have to stop," she said. "You've killed everyone. Our ravens, your rebels. You murdered the whole rebel council." "What? Oh, the ravens killed the council. You big idiot. They don't even know what the secret base is," shouted Lapino, who was with her for some reason. "Look at the stone," said Zenobia. It was black as night. Blacker. "But I fed it the core," said Renato. "It was glowing." "Well, who needs the core?" he said, and he attacked. Zenobia conjured her best, and Lapino hopped around like a mad rabbit, but he killed them both easily.
I am unstoppable,
He orated at the blood-soaked walls.
I alone shall be emperor.
The tiny voice inside him screamed, "That doesn't even sound like you, you big fanny. The stone has stolen your mind." But he ignored it. Who listens to voices in their heads anyway? Madmen, that's who. He should go back to some of the choices he'd faced before. Maybe there were new paths that had opened up, like those doors he was opening up all over the map that took him to new treasures and around his enemies. And he hadn't learned anything new this time. He'd done the same thing twice, yet expected a different outcome.